Sorry about that, guys. Thank you, Coffee Girl. That's why we have sound checks. My volume wasn't coming through. I was talking to you guys, but my volume wasn't coming through. So let me redo my introduction. You guys can hear me now, right? So yeah, welcome to all of you guys. Hope you guys are well today. Gonna do my introduction again. Today is June 11th or July 11th, 2025. And we're going to talk about the scripted reality, as usual. How everything seems to work out so perfectly all the time, right? How everything seems to align. And when it comes to things like this, I think it's pretty clear. More scripts, and yeah, we'll wait another minute or two, and then we'll get into what I want to talk about. It's not a lot, guys. I don't have like a mind-blowing decode, but I do have a lot of interesting things to talk about in terms of the money systems. And we're going to talk about crypto. We're going to talk about the money, the banks, and the Federal Reserve. We're going to talk about all kinds of. So today is a money-focused stream. And thank you to all 36 of you in the chat. If you guys would hit the like button, that's always greatly appreciated. And thank you to all the new subscribers who came over from Donut's channel. If you guys don't know, a few days ago, I was live on Donut's channel on YouTube. So thank you so much to Donut for having me the other night. That was amazing. And one of the fun, it was just such an honor to be on his channel. And thank you guys. And thank you to my friend AJ from Ball Don't Lie for hooking that up. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, I didn't do a post on this, and I also didn't do a I didn't stream it on my channel, but I was live wasn't 5 days ago. Yeah, it was only about 2 days ago. I was live with Donut, Rambo, AJ from Ball Don't Lie, and Tommy Truthful. I was live with them. So again, thank you guys so much. For the people that came over from his channel, thank you so much. Thank you to all the new subscribers. And hopefully you guys enjoy the content. But yeah, it was so fun. And we hopefully plan to do more of these. So if you guys don't know Donut, make sure you guys go check out him also. Make sure you guys go check out Ball Don't Lie. Also, he was with me on the stream. And make sure you go check him out. Also, don't forget about Joseph Aquaviva. I'm just giving shout outs here. Another decoding channel. Much love to him, my brother. And we got The Illusion, who hopefully I'll be able to collab with The Illusion again soon. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys go subscribe to all those different channels. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Gematinator85. Don't forget about him. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out before I get into it. And thank you to everyone who makes this channel what it is. So let's jump into it. We have a new movie that came out today called Superman. Okay. And well, something happened. Okay. So it was clear that this movie was signaling something in the markets. Okay. Let me show you this. And big shout out to The Illusion. I had already noticed this connection before he posted it, but I noticed that The Illusion, he also posted this connection on his X account. But it doesn't matter we're not about taking credit for things. I already knew about this, but The Illusion also posted it. So again, guys, make sure you guys go subscribe to The Illusion on YouTube as well. But anyways, so Superman comes out on July 11th, okay? And that's today. And it says, it begins. You guys see how it says it begins? What begins? Well, what happened also today that begun today? Well, I want you guys to notice that today, Bitcoin, it broke out into a new all-time high, and it's currently sitting at 117,000. Okay. Now, in most of the world, They write the day today 11/7, right? 7/11 is written 11/7. Well, Bitcoin is sitting at 11/117. Well, in gematria, hold on. In gematria, Bitcoin has that 117. You guys see it? Bitcoin equals 117. And Bitcoin, for the first time ever, guys, this is the first time ever that Bitcoin has hit 117,000. Okay. So new all-time high at 107. Well, actually, the all-time high is at 118. But I wouldn't be surprised if we close the price today at 117. That would be, but it's been sitting most of the day at 117,000. Okay. And again, that's because Bitcoin equals 117, right? 117,000 on 11/7. Okay. So now we know why it took so long for Bitcoin to hit another all-time high again, right? And it happened on 11/7. Okay. Now, don't forget that Bitcoin equals money. Okay. Let me just type in the 72s here. So in the basic ordinal cipher, Bitcoin equals money, right? And so with Bitcoin hitting 117 on the 117 day when Bitcoin equals 117. Now this is the same day that Superman released. Now let's look at the trailer for the Superman movie. And again, this trailer was released 6 months ago, guys. 6 months ago, this trailer was released. Now let's see what happens in this trailer. Here's Superman hitting the ice. The ice, guys, water and ice. Remember, currency, money is all about water, okay? Currency. Why do you think we had Texas flooding? It was all signaling a flood into crypto. Crypto's about ready to experience a very high move, okay? I'm telling you. It's going to get very exciting for 60 to 90 days maybe for crypto, right? But again, in this movie 6 months ago, they released this, and Superman, he hits the ice. Now, ice is a form of water, but it's solidified, okay? Ice is the 33 degree. Remember, anything below 33 or 32, really. So 33 is the first temperature that water freezes at, okay? So I want you guys to understand the symbolism of him laying on ice, okay? Because in markets, in money, if something is frozen, okay? Tell me, what do you guys think is it a good thing when your money is frozen? You guys get what I mean? You don't want them to freeze your money, right? Freeze your bank account. So I'm watching for a possible banking cyber attack or a banking freeze connected to this. I'm not saying it will be this month, but think about it, a banking freeze. Now, who has to save Superman from the freezing temperatures? Remember, Superman needs the sun to recharge, right? Or else he'll die. Now, he's dying here. This is the trailer, guys. But you can see that he's dying on the ice. He's frozen. He needs the sun. He needs to be thawed out. He needs to return to water. Okay? Remember, water is all connected to currencies. Okay? And you guys will know right now, ice is a big story because what's the name of the Immigration Customs Agency? The U.S. Immigration and Customs Agency is known as ICE, okay? Water, frozen, okay? So you don't want your bank account frozen. You don't want your money frozen, okay? Okay, so but in this trailer, who needs to save the frozen Superman from the ice? Who needs to liquefy him into money? Well, he whistles. I can't play the video, guys, but he whistles, and who comes running? He whistles, and he's bleeding, and he's waiting for who? Let me get it to it. Gosh, why can't I see it? Hold on. It begins, okay? And then you see the dog. Now, what is the dog's name? And all of you guys are already all over this. But look, what's the dog's name? Who saves him from the frozen tundra, the frozen money, right? It's the dog, Krypto. Okay? Krypto, the super dog. All right? Now, on the same day that this movie releases and Bitcoin hits a new all-time high of 117,000, again, Bitcoin equals 117. All right, Bitcoin equals 117. And on the same day, Krypto, the movie about Krypto, the super dog, saving his frozen companion, is released. All right, Krypto, the super dog. And Krypto, where is Superman from? He's from Krypton. And what is Krypton? Well, Krypton is an element, and it's the 36th element. What's Bitcoin equal? Bitcoin equals 36 and 117, right? Krypton on the periodic table is the 36th element. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, and crypto means hidden, okay? And notice that the symbol for Krypton is an 86, and 86 means to get rid of. All right, so 86 means to get rid of something, right? You 86 something, right? And that's why I believe this movie is releasing. You have Krypto, the super dog, saving his friend from the ice. Again, ice is frozen water. You don't want your money frozen. That's the point here, okay? Krypto allows money to move more freely. You get it? It makes it more liquid. Liquidity. In money, it's all about liquidity, right? If your liquidity is frozen, it's not going to work. Crypto is used to free up liquidity. And that's the why on the day that Bitcoin breaks into a new all-time high, it's all about Krypton, Superman, right? So again, Bitcoin 117, Bitcoin sitting at 117,000, okay? And the other coin that we're going to talk about is the other big coin that everyone wants to talk about, XRP, okay? Now, XRP is made by Ripple, and XRP is often called the Ripple coin. So you guys see what I'm getting at here. Ripple coin equals 117. Okay, so let me bring up all the 117s. Today's day can be written 117, right? Bitcoin at 117 right now, it equals 117. Ripple coin, which again, XRP can also be known, it's Ripple's coin, okay? That's what it is. All right. Now, so not only is the Superman thing going on, but let me explain to you all the money stuff going on this next week. What if I told you that next week has been declared crypto week by the government? So let's read this, guys. So just before or just after the movie comes out with Krypto the Superdog, and crypto is now taking center stage, just a few days after that, the United States will be holding Crypto Week. On July 14th, it will be Crypto Week. Today, the House Committee of Financial Services Chairman French Hill has announced that this week of July 14th will be Crypto Week. Again, this is the government, guys. This is not some random thing. This is the government, the chairman of financial services. Do you guys understand? This is the evolution of the banking system, the evolution of the financial system. And crypto, the super dog, is taking center stage. How many guys, tell me, how many Superman movies have featured crypto, the super dog, in them? Can anyone tell me how many? Because I don't think it's many. And why is it just now, right as crypto's getting ready to be given a center stage, why is it now that Superman movie is featuring crypto, the super dog? All right. This is not a coincidence. This is all part of the switchover to the new financial system, which will involve cryptocurrencies. Okay. Again, I don't know. All the Superman movies I've watched, I've never seen crypto, the super dog, in any of them. Okay. I don't know of any of the movies that I've watched. And there's been a lot of Superman movies, but I have not seen very many. I haven't seen one with crypto, the super dog. So the House of Representatives will be looking forward to considering the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, and the Senate's Genius Act as part of the Congress efforts to make America the crypto capital of the world. You understand? This is from the government website, guys. They want to make America the crypto capital of the world. And here we are talking about Superman and crypto. And remember, Donald Trump, let me just pull up another slide here. Hold on. Remember, Donald Trump has been portrayed as Superman as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen Donald Trump as Superman. Look at this. You guys see this? White House mercilessly mocked for posting a pic of Trump as Superman. All right, so again, I don't want this stupid video up here. I don't know why they always got to play stuff, man. So annoying. I don't want this video. Anyways, the White House has been mercilessly mocked on social media after posting a meme of President Donald Trump as Superman, the symbol of hope, truth, justice, and the American way, Superman Trump. You remember when the Israel people were singing Super Trump? You guys remember that? Let's see what Superman Trump equals. Superman Trump equals 195. He got his ear wound on the 195 day last year. That's interesting. But you guys remember when they sang? But anyway, the point is they're posting Donald Trump on this day as Superman. And this whole movie is about crypto. And Trump's trying to make United States the crypto capital of the world. And next week is going to be Crypto Week. Okay? So it's pretty clear. They're basically saying in this movie that crypto needs to save Superman. Right? So it's just so like obvious, you know, like they're telling us like this again. This trailer came out 6 months ago, guys. So we could have looked at this trailer and said, okay, well, something's probably going to happen with Bitcoin. I mean, how much more perfect is it that Bitcoin hit 117 today? Like, considering what I showed you with Bitcoin equaling 117. Now, again, next week, we could see some money stuff going on. It's crypto week. But it's also going to be the day that ISO 20022 goes live. Let me show you that. So just remember that, guys. Trump was posted as Superman. But so ISO 2022 will be going live on July 14th. Now, what is this? The Federal Reserve will implement ISO 20022 for the Fedwire Fund Service, replacing the current Fedwire application. So this just means a messaging system for the banks, okay? And I told you this whole thing with him laying on the ice, and he's laying on the ice, right? Banking freeze, freezing your money, okay? The banks are getting ready to release their new FedWire system called ISO 2022. ISO, guys, you when you say the word ISO, it looks like ISO. Well, that has the ice in it as well. ISO, right? And again, banks can freeze. Water is 33 degrees, but when it turns 32, it freezes, right? So that brings me to this, because again, Trump's whole thing right now is using the ice to get rid of the immigrants. Now, I want you guys to think about this. ICE is that, why are they calling it ICE? To take out the immigrants. Because ICE is supposed to freeze the flow of immigrants into the country. Do you guys get it? Let me know if this, as I explain this, guys, please let me know in the comments if you guys are understanding what I'm getting at here. The reason they call this group of the customs agency ICE is because the immigrants are flowing across the border like water. They're liquid, okay? The immigrants, they flooded the border, and now you need ice. You need to freeze it. Do you guys get it? You need to freeze the flow of immigrants. So let me know in the chat, guys, if that makes sense to you. Because to me, that's exactly why they call this ICE. 100% the reason they're calling this ICE. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know if you guys are understanding what I'm saying, but I just want to make sure you guys understand. Maybe I should explain it better. But again, ICE is when you freeze the flow of immigrants, okay? Think about it. What do you call immigrants when they come across the border? It's a flood. They're flooding in, right? The water is liquid. It's not being stopped. It needs to be frozen. You need to stop it, right? So it's all about this water and ice theme, which again is why I believe they call it ICE. Now, just to go along with the ICE thing, there's a theory released by Jim Rickards, okay, called ICE 9. Now, what is this about? He warned us, Jim Rickards warned us in 2020 that there would be an ICE 9 situation. But what does that mean, guys? And he titled it an economic doomsday, the ICE 9. Well, what is that? We are potentially entering an ICE 9 situation where the entire world may freeze over. Jim Rickards, the best-selling author of The Road to Ruin and Aftermath, 7 Secrets to Wealth Preservation in the Coming Chaos. So yeah, 7 secrets to the wealth preservation in the coming chaos, right? If you shut down the New York Stock Exchange and I can't sell stocks and get cash, I'm going to sell my money market funds and redeem it for money market or redeem it for money market funds. Then you got to shut down the money market funds industry, and then people say, okay, well, I'm going to go to the banks. And then you've got to shut down the banks. Okay, you got to freeze the banks. This is a banking freeze. That's what this is. Okay. Jim Rickards warned us in 2020 of a possible upcoming ICE 9 about a freezing of the economic of money and flow in the economy. This would create chaos. Okay. Now, is it a coincidence that this year Mountain Dew is having a exclusive flavor for 2025? Let me find where it says 2025. Right here, Mountain Dew Summer Freeze is a limited time flavor returning for the summer of 2025. So you guys get it? More freeze. Again, big shout out to Donut for pointing this out on the last live stream. But why are they calling this summer, why are they releasing this limited edition Summer Freeze? Okay. Are we about ready to get some sort of banking freeze this summer? Is this going to be how they implement their new system? Is this going to be crypto being used to resurrect the system to the new beast system, as people would call it? Is that why the dog is the crypto, because he's the beast? Do you guys get this here? Let me know if you guys are picking up what I'm laying down. The dog is the beast. If they freeze the banking system and the economy, if there's a cyber attack that takes out the banks and they need to freeze the banks and you can't get your money into the banks, are they going to implement a digital system that's going to be the beast system, as people would call it? And why do you think crypto is in this movie is the beast, or the dog who saves the guy from the ice? Okay, so if they freeze the system and the crypto is used to resurrect it for the beast system, this is exactly what they're showing here in this trailer. The frozen tundra being resurrected and saved by crypto, the flying dog, right? And again, crypto means hidden. So something that's hidden and something that needs to be revealed, right? You need to reveal what's hidden. So revealing the beast system, I guess you could say, revealing the new electronic system, right? And again, 86 is the symbol for Krypton. Well, 86 is to get rid of. So do they need to get rid of the old system to bring in the crypto system? Okay. Now remember, Superman is from Krypton. And the element Krypton is the 36th element. I told you Bitcoin equals 36 in gematria. But yeah, the home planet of Superman is Krypton. Okay. Now let me also bring up Krypto, the way you spell the dog's name. You guys see the 33 here? So what were we just talking about? We were talking about how the banking freeze, or freezing the money, you don't want to be frozen, you want it to be liquid. Well, crypto can make things more liquid in the new system, right? Well, the name of the dog is Krypto, spelled with a K. Well, what's that equal? It equals 33. And water, remember, what degree does water freeze at? So water, it freezes at 32. Okay, so this is when you are frozen. But as soon as you hit 33, you're liquid. You guys get it? So crypto equals 33. Is that going to make it liquid? Because 33 is the transmutation degree. It's the transition, guys. You guys get it? The transition to the new system. I don't know how much more obvious they could make this. This is the transition from the 32 frozen degree to the 33rd degree. That's the transition from frozen to liquid, okay? This is how you get liquidity, right? Liquid. Oh, look at this. I didn't even know this. Liquid equals Bitcoin. Liquid equals 36 in 2 ciphers. I just showed how Krypton is the 36th element. Liquid equals Bitcoin. Look at this. Liquid equals money equals Bitcoin. Okay. The transition from the 33 to the 32, the freezing, or the 32 degree to the 33 degree, the freezing to the liquid, okay? In money, we call it liquidity. Oh my gosh. Guys, I didn't even type any of this in before I started this. What in the heck? Liquidity equals Bitcoin. And today is the 117, and Bitcoin's at 117. Wow. So you see, guys, on the fly decoding reveals the 117 again, liquidity. Right? Liquidity. Yeah, so yeah, I already mentioned that today is 117, but again, if we type in the 117s, that was what this whole decode started out being about. So liquidity, you need liquidity, like Bitcoin equals 117. That's why it's at 117 right now. Okay. Today is 11/7, right? And again, just for those just getting in, this is the first time that Bitcoin has ever hit 117,000. This is the first day ever on today. Is the first day ever that this coin hit 117,000. This is a new all-time high. It almost got to 119 actually, but right now it just sits at 117. And why is it sitting so long at 117? Because that's the gematria of Bitcoin. Again, this stuff is all by the numbers, guys. Everything is by the numbers. Okay. So now what is this all? Again, I mentioned XRP, which is the Ripple coin. And again, let's check out XRP today. XRP is up, of course, a lot today as well, right? And XRP is the Ripple coin. Well, Ripple coin equals 117, like all in Texas. Now, what just happened in Texas, guys? Remind me and remind the chat what just happened in Texas. Now, this happened last week in Texas, right? Now, what is all in Texas? All in is a word for going all in with something like money, right? What is all in Texas? All in Texas is a show in the wrestling industry that's going to come tomorrow night on July 12th, one day after all this stuff. All right. Now, who is this guy right here in the center and who is this woman? What if I told you that the guy in the center of this, just to prove that this is all about money and liquidity, the guy standing in the center of this this picture is called the Rainmaker. And he rains money down when he comes to the ring. Do you guys get it? This guy is called the Rainmaker, and he rains money down when he enters the ring. And the girl off to this, and this is in Texas, guys. What just happened in Texas? The floods. And who is this girl? Well, this is Mercedes Monet. Her last name is supposed to sound like money, Monet. Okay, so you have the Rainmaker and Monet standing right next to each other. Now, on the other side, it's Tony Storm. What happens when it storms, guys? It rains. Okay. So the first three people here are all about money and storms and liquidity and money and rain, like right here. Okay. And this is in Texas, the Globe Life Field, about global, you guys know what? They tell us that we're in the time of global W, right? And just so you know, Mercedes, the girl on the front here that I told you about, her name is Mercedes Monet, right? She's related to Snoop Dogg, but her name is Mercedes Monet, right? And the word Mercedes also equals Bitcoin. So how about that? You guys see this? Mercedes equals liquid and equals Bitcoin equals money, okay? You guys, that's a 3 out of 4 cipher match to Bitcoin, Mercedes, right? And her last name is Monet, like money. So what is the chance? Her first name equals Bitcoin in 3 ciphers. Her last name is money, right? And again, this is happening tomorrow in Texas. Now let's look at the Rainmaker. This guy is Kasusuke Okada, and he's standing right next to Mercedes Monet on the cover. And he's the Rainmaker. He comes out to money falling down. Okay. So yeah, he goes by the Rainmaker. And again, this is called all in Texas. You see it? All in Texas. What's that equal? It equals 36, like Bitcoin, like liquid, like Mercedes, right? But it also equals 117. All in Texas equals Ripple coin equals liquidity equals Bitcoin. Okay, so all these things equal 117. Again, Bitcoin currently was sitting at, now it's at 118, but again, it was at 117 for the longest time. But yeah, it's just so clear. It's so clear. Now, who is Rhea Ripley? Like, I'm talking about a Ripple. And again, Ripple, guys, water. Ripple is the company that creates XRP, the other cryptocurrency, right? Water. So I told you All In Wrestling is tomorrow. But on Sunday, there's a show called Evolution in the other wrestling company. There's two wrestling companies. There's one called AEW and there's one called WWE, okay? WWE is having an event also this weekend called Evolution. And Evolution, I believe, is referencing in evolving into the new beast system of money, the new system, right? Now look who's on the front cover, guys. Who is the girl standing at the very front? Let me try to zoom in. The girl standing here in the front is important because she's coded. Why is she the one standing in the front of all of them, right? Her name is Rhea Ripley. What does Rhea Ripley equal? It equals 117, like Ripple coin. Again, Ripley, Ripple coin, Rhea Ripley standing in front of the whole, Rhea Ripley standing in front of the whole group. And what is, you guys see the X? Look at the attire, and again, look at the attire she's wearing here. What is that right there on her chest? Is that not an X? So you're telling me that Rhea Ripley is wearing an X when Ripple, the company, creates the Ripple coin, which is called XRP. And again, she's sitting there right on the front. Now in the back here, you see EO Sky and Bailey. There's something to this as well, but the most important part is the X on her chest here, and her name is Rhea Ripley. Again, going back to the 117. Okay, but there's another show happening this weekend in WWE. There's two shows happening in WWE. One of them is the Evolution. Okay, let me zoom back out here. So one of them is the Evolution show, which is happening on the 13th. This is 1 year after Trump was clipped in the ear. Remember, 2 years ago on July 13th, Ripple XRP won a court case and became not a security on July 13th, 2023. Last year, on July 13th, 2023, Trump was nicked in the ear, supposedly, in his you guys know what, right? Now today, this year on July 13th and July 14th, remember, on July 14th, it begins Crypto Week, okay? So there's something about this middle of July that's super connected to this whole thing, okay? These are important days. Now remember, Julius Caesar, his birthday is July 12th, and some people say it's July 13th. Now Julius Caesar is connected to money. In the Bible, it says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, because Caesar is on the money, okay? So again, we come back to the same theme, but back to the point I was making. There's a show in WWE called Evolution on Sunday. There's a show in AEW called All In Texas with the Rainmaker in the center, and we just had the rain in Texas, and the banking connection is Mercedes Moné, okay? So there's that, and then there's a third show going on called WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. And the guy who is sitting on the front of the cover of this show is Goldberg. Now, what's Goldberg? Goldberg literally translates to Gold Mountain. Okay? Gold Mountain is Goldberg. Right? And Goldberg is having his retirement match tomorrow. He's going to retire. See right here, guys? Gunther is going to face, remember, Gunther is the one who held the championship for 666 days a few years ago. Now, Gunther is going to be facing Goldberg, and this will be Goldberg's retirement match. Okay, gold. Look at what the cover says. No one spared, everyone speared. Huh. No one spared, guys. Everyone speared. Don't know what that means, but interesting. Well, they say that because Goldberg's finishing maneuver is called a spear. But anyway, Goldberg is facing Gunther for the gold championship. His name is Bill. Yeah, like Bill. Yeah, that's. Thank you for reminding me that. His name is Bill. The same day the flood started in Texas, Trump signed his big, beautiful bill, right? His name is Bill Goldberg. He's even got the Scott in his name, which connects probably to the Francis Scott Key. The Scott theme is so big. But yeah, Bill Goldberg. You got the bill, like money, a dollar bill, and you have the gold. So this guy, he's retiring, guys. Do you guys get it? The new system is going to be retired. All right? It's so clear. All these things that are happening. You have All In. You have WWE Evolution, evolving the new system. All right? And you have Bill Goldberg, who's retiring. And his name is literally Bill, like money, and gold, like it's a form of money. So are they going to retire the old system and bring in this new system, which I said is saved by the beast dog, Krypto? Okay. So to me, this is all pretty clear. Why is all these different shows happening? All these money connections. All right. And Gunther, the guy who Goldberg is going to be facing, well, Gunther, just so you guys know, let me just bring up this. This is interesting. So Gunther equals XRP. 440, XRP, 440. Right? Interesting. And this is in the very important Jewish or Latin cipher. What is the chance that this is a very hard cipher to get matches in, guys? XRP equals Gunther. This is not easy to get matches. So it's very significant that they both equal 440. Well, what else equals 440 in Jewish? Oh, none other than Antichrist. So there you go. Antichrist equals 440, XRP 440, Gunther 440. And again, who's Gunther? Gunther is the one who's going to be facing Goldberg tomorrow in his retirement match. Bill Goldberg, all about money and gold, right? And but yeah, coincidence that these all three equal 440? I don't think so. Yeah, they're wrestling in the 404. That's a good point, Mr. S. Thank you for reminding me. They're wrestling in the 404 area code. Guys, 404 is the amount of chapter or verses in the book of Revelation. Remember, Pope Francis died, and Pope Francis equals 404 in this same cipher, right? So again, we're coming back to this Revelation theme. Atlanta, Georgia is the 404 area code. And I believe Goldberg is from Atlanta. Oh, no, he's not from Atlanta, but he's from Oklahoma. That's interesting. And Goldberg is known for having a long undefeated streak in wrestling. Okay. Let me just see what he equals real fast. Bill Goldberg. Oh, look at that. Bill Goldberg. What? Bill Goldberg equals Krypto. Let me just pull that back up. Interesting. So I already showed you that earlier, but Krypto equals Bill Goldberg. I don't know. That's interesting. And let me just see what Goldberg equals by itself. Well, I mean, that's interesting. Goldberg equals Jesus. Actually, Vatican. Well, Goldberg equals Vatican. But what is I thinking that it's interesting. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into that, but the point is all this stuff is happening this weekend, all in Saturday night's main event and Evolution, right? And I already made all the connections. If you guys are just getting in, I already made all the connections with the money, with the crypto, with the banking freeze. Don't forget Jim Rickards. He said that there would be an economic doomsday, which would be an ICE 9 situation. Okay. And just so you guys know, the ICE 9 comes from, and remember, ICE 9 comes from Kurt Vonnegut, or Vonnegut, however you say his name, ICE 9. Is a polymorph ice. So let me just get this to come up here. So Ice 9 is a fictional material that appears in Kurt Vonnegut's 1963 Cat's Cradle. Ice 9 is described as a polymorph of ice, which instead of melting at 0 or 32, melts at 42 Celsius or 114 Fahrenheit. So it's frozen. This material is frozen until it becomes 114 degrees Fahrenheit. And this was used in Kurt Vonnegut's book, Cat's Cradle. And that's an interesting picture here. Very interesting cover art to this. Look at this. The first person everyman narrative opens the novel with "Call me Jonah." Jonah is known for being in the water in a whale. That's interesting. I don't know. I didn't look much into this movie yet, guys, but Kurt Vonnegut had this book, Cat's Cradle. It talks about the Ice 9 element. And again, this is because the economist, Jim Rickards, he said that there would be an Ice 9 event. So that's why I'm connecting all this. And I don't know much about this movie or this element, but could there be a banking freeze eventually? And the solution will be to move us to a digital system. Okay, just think about that. If something happens with the banking and it gets frozen and it just creates ultimate chaos and then they need a fix, well, what's the fix? Is that possibly going to a digital economy where cash is no longer a thing, right? I mean, that's what they're going to try, right? That would be, and just so you guys know, the match is in All In tomorrow. The first match is featuring a guy named Cash. So I already made all the other connections with Mercedes Monet and this guy right here, who's the Rainmaker, right? And he rains money. Well, the first match of the night tomorrow is a guy named Cash. So you have also that connection. Let's see. I find it interesting that the Buffalo Bills also equals 117 because Bills, right? Been a lot of Bill stuff. The big beautiful Bill. You got Bill Goldberg retiring tomorrow. Lots of Bill stuff. And the Buffalo Bills, the football team, they often play in the snow, right? So again, talking about liquidity and freezing things. Buffalo, it's up near the water there. Buffalo's near the Niagara Falls. So think about it. Buffalo is connected with water. It gets often very cold and snowy there, like icy. But yeah, I'm wondering if the Buffalo Bills don't have a good season. I'm sure they're going to have a good season this year, I think. That's just an additional add-on topic, but the big point here, and just a reminder, guys, 117.63, 153.54. I just wanted to bring up again how all these things have similar gematria. Ripple coin equals Rhea Ripley. And again, she's on the front of this evolution cover for tomorrow or Sunday. And she just happens to equal Ripple coin in all ciphers. And she equals All in Texas. Well, All in Texas is the other show that's happening. So again, but the big point was the 117, Ripple coin 117, Rhea Ripley 117, All in Texas 117, liquidity, Bitcoin. And there's Bitcoin once again back at 117. You see what I mean, guys? It's staying like right around that 117 mark. So yeah, let me know what you guys have to say in the comments. And don't forget, next week is crypto week. We'll see what happens with that. But crypto week is actually prohibiting the Federal Reserve banks from relating certain products or services into individuals. So basically trying to get rid of CBDCs. So this looks like something good, guys. Remember, the government has been wanting to create CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. And this act that's supposedly being released tomorrow is about getting rid of these, right? Anti-CBDC. It reminds me again of the Antichrist narrative. Anti-CBDC. What does that equal? Hold on. CBDC. Well, anti-CBDC equals 56. We know how big that 56 is. But yeah, that's their goal. They're trying to create the anti-CBDC. They're also doing the Genius Act, right? And Clarity. So again, they're trying to make America the crypto capital of the world. And this was released on July 3rd, one day before the floods in Texas. Again, the whole flood in Texas thing was signaling this whole financial stuff. I'm telling you, liquidity and water flooding the system. That's what it was all about. The floods in Texas. That's why you have the show All in Texas coming up just tomorrow now. And remember, during the Texas floods, the all-girls camp was flooded. And why is the next show happening on Sunday, an all-women's show? Okay, so what is the chance? The WWE has only held 2 shows ever that are all women. And just last week, we had a flood of an all-girls school. Okay. And please, guys, if you would, hit the like button to help the algorithm out. I appreciate all those who hit the like button. I'm trying to provide possible. I mean, I'm saying to look out for this week because there could be some sort of narrative with the banks. I mean, it's possible. I mean, we're already getting so much stuff happening next week, so it's pretty clear that next week is going to be big with crypto week. And I told you ISO 2022 is going live also with the banking system. But another thing that's really got me interested in this time period is if you go to July 20th, if you go from 9/11, 2001 to this upcoming July 20th, you get 8,713 days. That's from the September 11, 2001 to July 20th. Well, that's the 1086 prime number. Okay. And why is that important? So the reason I bring up this 1086 is because this is super important. Again, just to remind you, from 9/11 to July 20th, the 201st day of the year, with 72 date numerology, remember, money equals 72, Bitcoin equals 72. July 20th is 7/2, right? Like money. It'll be the 56th anniversary of the supposed landing on the moon, which didn't really probably happen. Not probably, it didn't happen. But again, July 20th will be 1086 prime days after 9/11. Well, that's the gematria of water and Federal Reserve in the same cipher, okay? This is not a coincidence, guys. The Federal Reserve is responsible for the economy, the money, the markets, right? So the fact that the water equals Federal Reserve, when water is all about currency and flow, not a coincidence. Now, also, just to go with the narrative I was talking about earlier, if you go to the square cipher, Ripple also equals 1086. Okay. Now, if you go to Sumerian, the founder of Bitcoin is Satoshi Nakamoto. So that equals 1086. All right. So Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin, equals 1086. Like water, like Federal Reserve. Now, remember Satoshi Nakamoto, again, the founder of Bitcoin, he wrote a book called Wave and Ripple. Okay. And you see the tsunami wave, Wave and Ripple. This is by Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin, which is probably the CIA. Also, guys, just so you know, today is 117. I already showed you all the 117s, right? Central Intelligence Agency equals 117. Okay, so today is 117. Bitcoin equals 117. Central Intelligence Agency equals 117. Satoshi Nakamoto is probably really the Central Intelligence Agency. That's probably who really created Bitcoin, right? So don't be surprised that this is the big number today, because this is a big number with the Central Intelligence Agency. Yeah, that's the point, right? And again, Wave and Ripple created by Satoshi Nakamoto. Remember, I told you tomorrow and All In, the guy who's going to be fighting there is the Rainmaker, and he's Japanese, just like Satoshi Nakamoto is a Japanese name. So there's that connection with Japan. Japan also has the Wave connection, right? Because remember, the Japan Wave is very famous. You guys have seen this picture before. Japan is all connected to the wave, right? But the 1086 is so important here, and thanks to so let's connect this to Trump's ASS INTAION attempt. Last year on July 13th, Trump got attempted his life from a guy named Thomas M. Crooks. That's with his middle initial. So remember, Trump, he got clipped in the ear by Thomas M. Crooks, 1086, right? Well, in Revelation, as Joseph mentioned, Revelation 13:3 is about the beast getting his head wound. Now, how old was Thomas Crooks on the day that he did this to Trump last year? Let's see. What was his birthday again? It was let me get this up. I don't remember his birthday now. I know his birthday was the 8888 prime, but I don't remember what the date is. Thomas. Oh yeah, his birthday was 9/20/2003. And of course, crooks can be involved in money too, because somebody who might steal your money would be a crook, right? But yeah, his name is Thomas Matthew, or Thomas M. Crooks, and he was born September 20th, 2003. So if you go from the day he was born to the day that he did that last year, you guys see how he was exactly 1086 weeks old when he did that? Well, I just told you his name. If you type in the middle initial, Thomas M. Crooks equals 1086. Satoshi Nakamoto, water, Federal Reserve, all 1086. Joseph says the beast system equals 1086. So there you go. That just proves my point. That's just another one to add to the list. The beast system equals Satoshi Nakamoto. How about that? So again, I made that reference to the beast or the dog having to save the Krypto the beast dog having to save Superman, right? You guys get it? Superman being saved by his beast companion. And then, so all the 1086s. And then when Trump got hit in the ear last year, it was the shooter was 1086 weeks old. Okay. And the full verse of Revelation 13:3 about the head wound of the beast, it equals 1086. Okay. I'm not going to bring that up here, but just look it up, guys. If you copy and paste the whole verse of the Revelation 13:3, the beast head wound, it equals 1086. Okay. Look, he was also 249 months old, this guy. So we just, the United States just turned 249 years old. So that means Thomas Crooks, he would be this year. I mean, he certainly doesn't have the connection that he had last year. It explains why they had it happen last year. Okay. I'm just wondering if there's some sort of connection to him this year. I'll have to look more into that. But again, we started off talking about the Superman movie that came out today. We talked about the Krypto, the super dog that's in the movie. And then we talked about the ICE events, the ICE 9 economic event that's possible with the ICE, the flow of liquidity with money. And we talked about the waves, talked about Bitcoin. And we talked about next week being crypto week. So yeah, I think I hit on all my points. Talked about the wrestling shows. Let me know if you guys have anything to add. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing, guys. Superman. It's interesting. I talked about Ripple XRP being connected to this. Well, today Superman came out, and Superman equals well, that's interesting. Superman equals 109 and 46, like Ripple XRP. Okay. And again, I told you guys how ICE, the ICE Sojourn is saying ICE rage. Yeah. We talked about how the ICE is all about stopping the flow. Like water is when water freezes, it stops flowing. And the ICE agents are meant to stop the flow of immigrants, freezing the flow of immigrants into the country, right? So that's the ICE connection. But yeah, Ripple XRP equals Superman. So you got that connection. And that's today, Of course, XRP is up a lot today as well on the release of Superman. And XRP is looking to break through its high from earlier this year on January. Wait, did it hit its high on 117? Hold on. Yeah, it topped out, guys. Earlier this year, XRP topped out on the date 117. That was the last green day before it corrected. You see that? On January 17th, right here, 117. That was the last day that it stopped moving up. You see? That was its highest green candle close ever on 117. How about that? All the 117s I was talking about, and now I find out that its highest close was on 117. Wow. And how many days ago was that? Hold on, let's look. Oh, it was it was exactly 2 Mercury years ago. How about that? Mercury is hugely connected to Ripple and money and commerce. But it was also 25 weeks ago, exactly 25 weeks. And you'll notice it has the same date numerology, 63, right? 63 date numerology on January 17th, and 7-Eleven also has that 63 date numerology. Well, I did bring up the 63s because money equals 63, Ripple coin equals 63, and all in Texas, which again is happening tomorrow, equals 63. But yeah, how interesting. But 25 weeks is also interesting because I believe crypto equals 25. If you spell it the way they spell it. No, what was it? Something else equaled 25. I don't remember now. Yeah, I guess I'm mistaken, but the point is, everything. You guys know everything is perfectly scripted in this reality, so I don't need to convince you. But yeah, that's just a great addition to add to this. Yeah, crypto equals 97. That's the 25th prime number. That's what I was thinking. Thank you, Rebecca Carrington. Let me put her comment up on here so you guys can see. Rebecca Carrington says crypto equals 97. That's the 25th prime number. So again, it was 25 weeks exactly from XRP hitting its highest close, daily close on 117 to today, 117, where it starts to break out again. I don't think it'll break out to a new all-time high. But again, we talked about the 117 a lot. Lefkata says the 175 days connects with the 117, 175 and 117 connect with the 1618 golden ratio. Okay. I'm trying to think how that would, can you explain what you mean by that? Explain what you mean, how those connect to the golden ratio. Yeah, 7-Eleven, you got the 7-Eleven. Yeah, the 7-Eleven gas stations are in Texas, right? Let me just search that. Hold on. This all connects to Texas, guys. 7-Eleven. And it's owned by Japan. All right, so here's another connection we got going on. 7-Eleven is owned by Japan. Look at the top thing they have on their page right now. An ice. Are you kidding me? An icy, like a Slurpee. What? Get ready for free small Slurpee drink on 7-Eleven. It's a limited time Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl. What? I just talked about all these different narratives in this decode, and now I'm finding out that 7-Eleven has an icy that's named after a Mountain Dew. I just talked about Mountain Dew summer freeze, and I talked about the dates today, 7-Eleven. And I talked about the ice and the freezing of the water, freezing of the banks, and freezing of the currency. And now this is on the front page today of 7-Eleven. What the heck? Let's just see what this equals. Mountain Dew infinite swirl, like a golden ratio. What? Okay, now things are getting strange. Mountain Dew infinite swirl. Infinite swirl equals 77. 11 times 7 is 77. 7 times 11. Yeah, Elon Musk posted about 7-Eleven, didn't he? Yeah, he posted a 7-Eleven. I know that from last or a few years ago. But yeah, how crazy is that, guys? I just happened to accidentally click on 7-Eleven, and I find out it has an icy, a swirl ice. Man, there's got to be something more to that. Guys, I think I might get it. If they freeze the banking system, everyone's going to spiral out of control when they can't get their money. You guys get it? I mean, that's a theory. That's just my theory, but that's interesting because it kind of connects everything I've been talking about. How they're going to freeze the banking system, and if they do that, people are going to lose their minds because they can't get their money, and it's going to spiral or swirl out of control. I don't know. That's just my theory here, but I'm telling you, it connects to that. But again, what was I saying about Japan earlier? I was talking about this guy, the Rainmaker, who's going to be in the wrestling show tomorrow from Japan, right? Satoshi Nakamoto is a Japanese name, right? Japanese have the wave of liquidity. And then I find out that 7-Eleven is owned by Japan, but it's located in Texas. So here's your Texas connection that I've been talking about, and here is your Japan connection, right? In the same company. So yeah, 7-Eleven. Oh, look at this. 7-Eleven equals I just had the 70 come up because that was with Bill Goldberg, but that probably doesn't connect. But 7-Eleven equals 70. Let's see if you type it out. 7-Eleven equals 47. We know how big that number is. So I don't see anything there right now, but there's probably something. It doesn't really matter because the day is 7-Eleven. That's why we're making the connection, guys. We're making the connection to this. Oh, yeah, I should probably take the comment down. Oh, but yeah, thank you to Scott Miles for talking about the all-in connection. Rebecca Carrington says infinite spiral is the 8, yeah. 117 equals 1086 in Sumerian. Wow, good one. So 117. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I saw there was 117 watching as well. That's YouTube playing with the numbers again. 117 equals Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, hold on. We got to try that. I see. So 117 equals Satoshi Nakamoto. Yeah, I see it. In the reverse cipher, Satoshi Nakamoto equals 181.55. 117 equals 181.55. That's what it means. Yeah. Good connection. And just going back to the whole Krypton thing, there's probably something more here too. I think cryptos. It comes from the Greek word kryptos. I just wanted to touch on this real fast. That also has the 34, like crypto. So kryptos equals crypto. But yeah, and then as I told you guys, it's the 36th element. Bitcoin equals 36. Bitcoin's still Bitcoin's still sitting on the edge of 117. They just keep playing around with it, you see. But everything else is, I mean, it's going to get, I'm telling you guys, it's going to get pretty crazy in these markets. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit of a scare next week. Maybe it has something to do with last year's how Trump got a bit of a scare, but he ultimately made it out. He made it out alive. Maybe we're going to have something this week. But yeah, there's probably more. I didn't have time to look into all the I didn't have time to look into all of the background to Krypto the Superdog, but if you guys want to do, they call him a Kryptonian dog. Huh? Oh, we get another 70. Kryptonian dog equals 70. I've seen lots of 70s. Oh, look at this. Guys, look at this. On the fly decoding again. Look. Wow. So even if you type in Kryptonian, which is the race from Superman, it also equals 117. We were just typing in 117. And then that equals Federal Reserve and Satoshi Nakamoto. So that's super interesting. I wonder when the first when is the first time that Krypto the Superdog appeared on Krypton? Yeah, I don't know. For all you geeks out there who know a lot about the Superman background, you guys might be better at decoding this than me. I was more of a geek when it comes to like Star Wars and what was the other show? Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. That was my geek out, but I was never like really deep into Superman. So I don't know if you guys have anything to add on the whole history of Krypton and the crypto dog, how that would connect to this, but if someone does, let me know in the chat. Yeah, thanks everyone. Coffee Girl, thank you for coming, and yeah, she thanks you all for showing up as well as we all thank you for coming. 711 equals 666. That's another good find. Yeah, 7-Eleven founded in Dallas by a Jewish company. Well, the guy who's the star of this Superman movie, hold on, let me duplicate this. Superman. The guy who's the star of this Superman movie is David Cornswet. Okay, so now, guys, we have another water connection here. The guy who's playing Superman is named Cornswet. But look at the family. His father, John Cornswet, was from a Jewish family. They even have his picture. They have him dressed as Clark Kent. Wait, what's Clark Kent equal? Hold on. Well, that's interesting because Clark Kent equals Sirius, and Sirius is the dog star. I mean, I'm not saying there's a real connection with that right now, but that is interesting because we're talking about the dog, talking about Krypto, the super dog. there's definitely a serious connection to Krypto the Superdog, right? I would say it's Krypto the Superdog is probably a symbol of serious in many ways. I had to look more into it, but I'm sure it is. Anyway, I'm about ready to wrap this up, guys. It's been way too. I never expected to go this long. I'm so grateful you guys are able to listen to me blabber on for an hour and 21 minutes. But hopefully this gave you something. Hopefully this was revealing and gave you some sort of good information. That's what this channel's about, just sharing info. But thank you to all of you in the chat who have added things. I really appreciate you guys adding all the stuff you do. And again, thanks for listening to me blabber on for an hour and a half. But I think I've beaten this horse enough. You know, that's a bad saying. I shouldn't say beating a horse. What's the phrase I want to use? I think I've talked about this enough. So you guys get the gist. Much love to you all. Thank you to Joseph Aquaviva. Make sure you guys go check out Joseph's channel up on the screen here. Much love to you, brother. And God bless you. And yeah, thank you to everyone who's in the chat. And again, leave your comments. If you guys have any additions on the Krypto and the dog thing, please leave them in the comments of the video afterwards. I always read your comments, and you guys always add stuff. So if you guys want to support the channel, please hit the like button on the way out. And if you guys want to support the channel, buy me a coffee link I have pinned to the top of this chat. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.